I think today's going to be an interesting day, so let's take you guys along for the ride. Most days, my day in the life is show up, go in the shop, and work on equipment. And I think that's kind of boring for the most part. But today will be some of that, but it's also some moving around equipment and that sort of thing. So let's get after it. First thing we got to do is we're going to try and fire up the 936, which I didn't have plugged in, so we'll probably have to use ether. And we're going to hook that up to the air seeder on the other side of the tree line there. And while we're waiting for that to warm up, we will fire up the old Massey, and the horses need a bale. Get the shed open. Went so smoothly because I was in here yesterday. I got the fuel trailer and we were filling up tires on that air seeder with the kids. Everyone was having a blast until they fell in the ditch. I'm sure the old 855 Big Cam will be grumpy today, but it's time to wake you up from your winter slumber. Perfect timing, actually. I think my brother's just pulling in and he can help me start this thing. Oh yeah. Nothing like a little bit of summer air. Gotta love an articulating tractor, man. You can get out of closed spaces. Now it's your turn, buddy. I love this tractor. I built a skid steer quick attach and I mounted one on my bale forks and my snow bucket. So instead of an hour changing over pins and a big fight, it's 5 minutes and you're hooked up to the next attachment. And like a true cattle farmer, I got some hay net in there. Oh, you're right where you belong. This thing wasn't plugged in either, but it starts very good. Come on, don't let me down. Oh yeah. Kick on the hydraulics. Get those warming up. And we will open our door. Beautiful. I'm stuck in low right now though, because if I put it in high, it's too cold and it'll stall on me. I'm thinking the game plan here is gonna be speed, because it's dry-ish on our path, but it's really quite wet, as you can see, but it's frozen. It got a decent frost last night, so this old Massey here, two-wheel drive, and all the weights on these skinny little fronts, I think we're gonna need speed if we're gonna have a chance at not getting stuck. The right option might just be dropping the bale right here on the other side of the fence, but I'm gonna try and get it all the way back there. We got the big four-wheel drive if we need to pull me out. Hey! That ain't bad. I love it. We'll get this bale drop somewhere over there, I think. Slow down. This old girl doesn't like it. Those are heavy bales. That's like 1,600 pounds. That's pretty good considering that's all the waste. We always use the tombstone feeder, and we have this hay net, which definitely saves us a ton of money in hay. These nets are expensive, but shoot, they pay for themselves pretty quick. There we go. We got the bale done. Probably the last one we'll be able to put out here this season. And right there's the air seeder we're gonna go hook up. All right, let's get her hooked up. Make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing here. That makes sense, it's sunk. I filled up these tires yesterday and it kind of broke everything free, as you can see. So I'm hoping it moves without a hitch. Well, it's got a hitch, but without a problem. You guys know what I'm saying. We filled probably like 11 or 12 tires yesterday, yeah. 3 on the front and 9 or 10 on the back, so I think it'll be a rough year for tires on the Concord this year, but we don't have plans to use this unit much. It'll be more of just, hey, we've got a great window and some guys. Let's throw this thing out there and cover some more acres. There's still some ice and snow, but a lot of it pop free filling up these tires, so I think it'll move. We're gonna give her a shot anyways. I'm hoping everything is frozen enough that we don't make a huge mess here. Put her in low. Let's see what happens. There we go. Up and out. Nice. That was easy. Now we'll just casually drive down our driveway and park on the pad over there. Here's where this thing is parked now, and I'm gonna work on it here. I love working at my place as much as I can, which I think anyone would. But this thing only did like 1,000 acres last year, and it'll probably do less than that this year. So I don't suspect it'll need much. I do need this front caster right here, these H-frames bent. So that is kind of a cattywampus setup right now. I'm trying to look for some used parts, because from the dealer, those H-frames are like 2 or 3 grand. Absolutely insane. So anyone got used parts, let me know. But check this out. This blew my mind. So if you look up there, there's an LED light. And me and my brother, we just put that back on. He lifted me up in the bucket. But we saw it dangling there like a couple months ago. It was parked right here. So we knew it was dangling. It didn't fall off during harvest. I don't know how it fell off. But so I drove it in the field, which is a bumpy field, and you can't do fast turns with that. So it was like a big, long turn, big sweeping turn. And then I parked it here, and we're like, oh, someone's here to help me. Let's just quickly throw that light up there. I kid you not. I knew the bolt was still in the light bracket because it couldn't fall out. I just thought we would need a nut. He lifted me up there. The nut was sitting in the frame right where it had fallen off. Like it hadn't even moved from the hole that sits through the bracket. I can't believe it. I drove it. It had been dangling there for months. The nut was still there. So that is awesome. Anyways, we're gonna head back to the main yard now. And I think my dad's got his air seeder in the yard. And we'll take a look at that. Okay, we are at the farm here, and my dad's got his air seeder out, so we're going over it. And this is what we're thinking for this year. Usually, me and my brother will run our air seeder on our acres, and my dad will run his on his. But then it makes us need a lot more guys to manage both units, as well as having those extra units running. You get more acres done sometimes, but it can also be more inefficient. So we're thinking we're going to try and run this unit 24/7. This is a 60 foot, the other one's a 37 foot. So you'll have less wheel tracks, better tractor pulling it, and you'll yield more because of less wheel tracks. So what do you guys think of 24/7 running? Do you guys use it? Do you like it? Do you have a good schedule to shift off where someone's not just getting shafted every day with the night shift? Or what do you guys think? We're really trying to figure this out. We want to make it work. We've done 24/7 on the planter and we thought it was fantastic. So we're gonna give it a shot on this one, I think. Like I said, this is a 60-foot Concord. This is an Amity Concord, so it's a newer style. It's a 2004, I believe. And it's a single chute, hydraulic fan drive, set up for anhydrous, but anhydrous is getting harder to use these years because of all the regulations. So we're switching more over to dry. But the biggest thing with any Concord is all the Packer tires. And I really don't like the setup on these Amity air seeders and how they have the Packer tires. I think the original Concords were set up better. These ones have just an absolute ton of bushings, and you can see like that wheel is all cockeyed, that one's screwed up, we need new bushings there. And there's quite a few more, as well as these springs. They like to break, we're missing this one. So there's definitely a fair amount of work to do. So right now it's kind of cold and gloomy out there, but it's supposed to warm up throughout the day. So I'm gonna work in here on this tractor for a little bit while I wait for it to be a bit nicer out there. I'm gonna start taking apart some more of these bogeys. There's 4 that we need to do the seals on. So I'm gonna get those all stripped down, taken apart, and cleaned up and ready for when the seals come in. And then there's another 4 that we need to adjust. So I'm gonna start opening those up as well. And as long as the gaskets don't rip, then I'll be able to put them together. And if the gaskets do rip, we'll have to wait for the gaskets to come in to close those up as well. When I'm changing seals, I take off the bogey wheel. When I'm just adjusting the bearing, I leave the bogey wheel on. Got the bolts taken out of the caps. Now I'll just give it a little whack with the hammer and the cap should come right off. This tractor has pleasantly surprised me. I haven't taken off one of these caps yet and not torn a gasket, but so far I'm 2 for 2 with being able to save the gaskets. So that's pretty sweet. Now you just get in here, find the tab that's bent over, bend it back, and then I've got this homemade socket that goes on there and we just unscrew it. This is the first one I made. I don't know where the other one I made is because this one looks pretty bad and the other one's like super professional. So I don't know, it worked. Okay, we got 2 of these cleaned up. There's 1 in there on that side that I need to do, and then there's 1 bogey wheel right in there that I have to do as well. So we got the hubs off on these bogey wheels and I'll get them cleaned up and prepped, but now I need to get some stuff done on that air seeder. So it's always shovels and tires, that's the deal. So we've got 13 broken shovels. The problem is, like, pretty much every single one is a good shovel that we've changed in the last year or 2, but they all just crack on those wings where you bolt it through. So we're gonna try and mock them up on the shank here and weld them back together because there's a lot of life left in them, and 34 bucks a shovel, plus any shovel we change I have to weld on this anhydrous tube anyways, so it's not super straightforward. So since that's the case and I'd be doing welding anyways, we're gonna try and fix a bunch of these. So I have cleaned up and welded out that crack. I've made it pretty deep so that we get good penetration and it is nice and strong. Now we will mock it up on here with the seed boot so everything fits properly, and then we will give it some good heat and weld that thing up. I have done enough of these shovel repairs or welding on these anhydrous tubes that I know that if you don't have it mocked up in the shank with everything on it, you're gonna have problems and you're gonna have to do it again. So let's start welding. There we go, we got 1 welded up. I'm not gonna clean up the welds where I don't need to. There was a crack by the bolt hole there, so we cleaned that one up, but now we'll see how these last. All right, we finished repairing 10 shovels, and now there are 4 left to do over there on the bench, and those ones have completely broken off or cracked, and so I'm not going to try and line up ears and make it all good. So on those ones we're going to have to cut off the anhydrous tube, and then we will weld it onto another new shovel, and we'll have to make sure it all lines up properly. Thankfully I have only had to fix 14 shovels this year. When my dad first bought this air seeder, it came with 12-inch sweeps on it, and all those anhydrous tubes were on those 12-inch sweeps. So I had to cut them all off, and this is a 60-foot 10-inch spacing drill, so there's 70 plus runs. I had to cut them all off and weld them all onto new shovels. I think that took me 3 or 4 days straight of just cutting, welding, bending, checking, and that sucked. So this will only take me 3 or 4 hours, which is awesome. These are all just welded on the top right there, so we will start cutting those down now. So we've got our shovels cleaned up, all the edges we're welding on, those have been ground and cleaned up, and now I just mock it up like this, so it's all sitting where it wants to sit, and then I will just lay a bead right there, and then this one will be done. So I just finished welding all those shovels, they're good to go on. I told my dad, yeah, the guy who's coming in tonight, he can put them on. He's like, oh great, now we'll take off the ones that are worn out. I'm like, are you kidding me? The point of this is take them all off at once, fix them all at once, put them all at once on, because I had everything set up to do all these shovels. It was factory line, like boom, boom, boom. It was good. And now I'm gonna have to reset up and do it all again. Well, it is what it is, but frustrating. Anyways, now we are going to go out. We have our parts semi for our Volvo that was wrecked, and we have a Volvo getting safety. The guy said we needed a few things, so we're gonna go get those off that truck. Here we are at the truck. I need to get one of those visor lights. He said we need new windshield wipers because the rubber's peeling off, and these ones are decent, but I don't know, maybe I'm being too cheap. Maybe we'll just get a new set of wipers because the rubber's starting to crack on these ones already too. So we might pick up new wipers. And then he didn't like our fog lights because they were really foggy, or he didn't like our headlights because they were really cloudy and foggy. And I don't blame him, they're in pretty rough shape. So this truck, when we got it, we had the headlights polished and clear coated, and then we wrote it off right away. So we're gonna steal the lights out of this hood as well. Those were pretty easy to pop out. I got those there. I grabbed 2 just in case one of those is also burnt out. They're gonna suck to change though, because all those screws that hold it in were stripping on me, and didn't matter on this one because this is already screwed up. On this, we're gonna take these headlights like I said, but I remember, yeah, we stole a plug wire off of it because they were burnt out on another one. So I think we might actually have a spare harness upstairs with our Volvo parts that we got with the truck we bought. So we'll take a look, but we'll quickly pop these off. So here are the headlights, and this is the one that we cut the wires on, and this is an original factory Volvo headlight harness that I found upstairs with the rest of our parts. So we'll get this swapped into here, and we might have to take this apart and clean it up because it got some water in it, so it's just dirty, but it should work well, I think. You gonna check the tires? Is it good?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
I need that down.
How's that one? Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need that down.
You're gonna check those ones? Oh, good job, buddy. It's a beautiful evening. We got a lot done today on the farm, and now me and the kids are out here, and we're just checking on the pump. We got it running over there, pumping out some of the water here. It's amazing. It's a 3-inch pump. It should be moving a lot of water, but it just doesn't seem like it's going down. But slowly and surely, we'll keep running it, and the water will keep going down, I'm sure. It's very cool. I'm sure you won't see it on here on the camera, but right over there, there's been a black bear in this field all day, which is wild. We hardly ever see them around here. You know they're out here, but it's just cool to see. I'll see if you guys can see the bear. That's it, right out there. It's been there all day. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys have a great day and a great upcoming season. And, please subscribe if you like what we're doing.